through something, you know. We all go through our emotional paths. Since we all have different journeys and different paths, we're all called differently on this planet. We go through different things, but how do you get up from that? How do you heal? Today I'm here to talk about the steps to emotional healing or traumatic healing you've suffered in the past. You know, how do you take that step in the right direction to your healing? How do you heal from a traumatic emotional trouble past you've had, you know? So, as I said earlier, every person faces their own tune of problems in this world, you know. It's not only the rich who face it or the poor who face that, you know. Let nobody tell you on this planet that they are okay or they're not going through something. At one point in time, we all go through something. Let it be rich or poor, you know. No one has it all perfect, you know. Every person cries, every person goes through something, but how do you get up from that? How do you rise up, you know? In my personal experience, because you know, just like I said, every person goes through something, you know, at one point. No one has a smooth road, because if life was perfect, would not have victories, you know. Just like they say, tests bring up result into testimonies. So without a test, you will not have a testimony. Without a try, you will not have a triumph, you know. So we all go through something at one point. So here I am to this point, on my steps to emotional healing and traumatic pasts. First and foremost, you have to be aware of what's happening around you. You have to be aware of the situation or the type of problem you're facing. You have to be aware of what you're going through as a person, emotionally, physically, or be it anything else, you know. You have to know that, yes, this is what I'm going through. You understand? Because if you're not aware of what you're going through, then you don't know what steps to take, you know. So be aware. Awareness is very important. Be aware of what you're going through, first of all, before you take the next step. Number two, acceptance. You have to accept that, yes, this is the situation I'm in order to move on to the next step. Without acceptance, you cannot move on to the next step, you know. So try to accept whatever you're going through, no matter how big it is, you know. God's biggest trials are given to his strongest soldiers, you know, so they say. But try to accept what you're going through in order to go on to the next step, you know, because without acceptance, it's difficult to know, because you'll be thinking, you keep on thinking, oh, why me? Or you'll become a victim, you do this, you do that, you know. You soak yourself in sorrow and tears and all that. But accept the situation you're in, and look for a way forward, look for a way you're going to get out of those deep waters, you know. So number three is, after accepting, you know, um you need to be like, let me see, forgiving. What comes before that? Let me see. Before you forgive, what do you do? You know, before you forgive, what do you do? You know, personally, sorry, I think my brother is calling me. Yeah, but I'm gonna get back to him. Yeah, so before you forgive, what do you do? You know, I feel like you have to be conscious and understanding. Put yourself sometimes in those feet of that person who has hurt you, or that situation which has gone on. But there's some situations which are really unforgivable. Some people hurt other people, because just like they say, hurt people, other people hurt other people. Hurt people hurt other people. Yes, it's so true. Sometimes you don't need to do anything for a person to hurt you. Some people just enjoy making other people sad. Some people derive their happiness, their joy from hurting other people. So try to stay very far away from those people if you want to be happy. So be very cautious of your environment, of the people around you, so that you don't fall into the same steps, same troubles you've fallen into. Recognize and be like, oh, okay, you know, this is what landed me into this, you know. So after you've been cautious, you know, take the next step. of forgiveness. Because you know what? If you don't forgive, this is gonna weigh in so heavily on your heart. So try to forgive yourself. Be kind to yourself and be like, yeah, it's not my fault. Look into your heart. You're not gonna punish yourself for the rest of your life, you know? And then after forgiving yourself, forgive the world, forgive anyone else, because they don't need to say sorry. Because I mean, just like I said, some people derive their happiness and joy from hurting other people. You won't hear them say, oh, I'm sorry I did this to you, oh, I'm sorry I offended you. So there's some people like that. So in order for you to move on, forgive yourself and move on. Stay away from them, stay very far away from them. Get a very fresh, clean environment and get a good start over, but just stay far away from those people, forgive yourself, forgive them, and forgive the world, and move on, move on with your life, because they say if you don't forgive, you'll not be forgiven. I mean, that's the Bible saying, it's not me who wrote those words, but what I'm saying is that if you don't forgive, this thing is gonna weigh in so heavily. You'll be thinking about this person who hurt you, this situation. It will be bringing you down and making you so sad, and remembering all what happened and all that. So you have to forgive yourself and forgive those who have wronged you in order to move on perfectly, and the last step is lessons learned. What have you learned from that traumatic situation? What are you carrying with you? You need to learn from every situation you go through in life in order to move on to your next step in life. If you don't learn from your past, you will not do better in your future. You will not know which direction to take. You might end up going to the same direction which hurt you the last time. You need to learn a lesson out of every trouble you've gone through, you know because if you don't learn, my darlings, you're going to end up troubled again in the same waters again, hanging around the same people again and again. You need to learn, you know learn your lessons so you can move on to a nice, peaceful, trouble-free life, you know